How are you doing on this rainy Friday morning? Leading into the weekend, I'm hoping that you have some motivation, that you've got some consistency that you've built up over the last few days. But if you haven't, if you kind of lost those things along the way, don't worry, you can get it back. We still have 3 more days left of this week and then the rest of your life to really work on this and get it right. So today's topic is about health and about how you feel about your health, because I had a really interesting chat with one of my members the other day, and it was about her losing her motivation, even in the face of her family having lots of kind of genetic health problems, so things like diabetes, high blood pressure, and that sort of thing, that we can look to the generation above us and go, right, okay, if I don't look after myself particularly well, then that could be what happens to me. So if you've got relatives that have diabetes or obesity or metabolic syndrome or or anything like that, you can kind of go, well, I've got a kind of familial susceptibility to that condition, and therefore, if I look after myself now, I make it more likely that I will skip that condition, or make it less likely that I will succumb to that condition. Okay, so we were talking about these health, being aware of it basically, and it's still not being enough to make the positive changes in the present day. And my question to you really is, why isn't that enough? What is it about the kind of seeing your potential future and recognizing, even if it's not in your family, looking at other people and going, okay, that's a potential future for me and I don't want that, but still not being able to make the positive changes in the present moment, here and now. So, it's very common on a healthy journey, on a weight loss journey, or any kind of journey that you want to take, to lose focus, to lose drive, to lose consistency. And it really, for me, comes down to you not having the kind of the right mindset around the value that you place on your own health and well-being. So, and it's not to say that you don't value it consciously, but sometimes we don't value it subconsciously. Sometimes our very deep-rooted belief systems, our self-belief, our self-respect, our self-love, our appreciation, they just don't really exist anymore. And through years or decades of your confidence being gradually shredded and torn to pieces by different things, that might be other people, that might be your own doing, that might be yourself being kind of horrible to yourself, that could be things that have happened to you in your lifestyle. We could have had traumas and that sort of stuff. So if through years or decades of this kind of slow shredding of our self-esteem, we get to a point where even if we can see the future and predict the future, we just don't have what it takes in that moment to make the changes happen in the here and now. So what I'm going to encourage you to do today is to think of your approach to lifestyle like a pie. So we've got 5 main different areas. So we've got work, we've got family and friends, that's like our social life. We've got fun stuff, that's hobbies and interests. We've got fitness and health, and we've got mindset. That's 5 areas: work, family and friends, fun stuff, mindset stuff, and health and fitness. They're the 5 main areas that we can divide all of our activities and all of our interests into. And we can, obviously some of them blend together quite well as well. You can have fun with your fitness, you can have fun with your family, you can work on your mindset at work, you can use work to fund your health and fitness. So they all have crossovers, and that's the way it's meant to be. They're meant to be this blend of stuff. But if we put too much effort into one area, and particularly the areas that tend to get the most attention from us are family and friends and work, they tend to take up most of our time, which leaves the fun stuff, the fitness stuff, and the mindset stuff that have a smaller slice of the pie. And if we do this, if we don't work more or less equally on all 5 areas, then we tend to have this lack of purpose, lack of fulfillment, lack of passion, and we end up in this comfort zone where we just stay the same all the time. And staying the same is never a bad thing if you're happy and content and feeling good about your life and feeling good about everything in your life. Obviously that on a day-to-day basis that might change, but you know, on an underlying level, if you're happy and content, then staying the same is fine. But if you're not happy, if you do want things to change, if you want something to be different, then we need to find a way of building your confidence up to a certain level, building your self-esteem, finding that sort of thing within you, so that you have the confidence to kind of step out of your comfort zone and make that change happen. Because when you are content, we feel fulfilled by our activities, we feel purposeful, we feel passionate about what we're doing, and we can kind of compare that to our comfort zone where we kind of feel a bit bored, a bit complacent, and we lack motivation. And this is really normal. You know, I feel this too sometimes, and I then have to reevaluate what I'm doing and find a way to kind of pep myself up and step outside my comfort zone to push the envelope a bit more. And that for me, that's what the last few months have been about, is, you know, starting this dancing training, doing the whitewater kayaking. That's me kind of realising that I got a bit complacent, a bit bored, and my motivation was lacking. So I was like, how can I make a change here? How can I kind of reach to the next level and really push myself to do something more? And it's, you know, you've got to find that within you, and it really all comes back down to, on a deep-rooted level, what is your self-belief system, what is your self-esteem, what is your self-confidence. And if you know those things are a bit lacking, then we really need to kind of bump up the work on the mindset side of things in your pie, and try to have a better balance and better approach to what you're trying to do. Because if you're coming to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, or exercising 3 or 4 times a week, that's amazing. But if you're doing that without doing any of the mindset work, then the results that you get will only be surface level, okay? You might lose a few pounds, you might be able to do some press-ups, you might be able to do some squats and get fitter and feel more stronger, and that is amazing, that's fantastic. But if you don't do any more than that, if you don't reach within you and work out what's going on in here and in here, then those results are probably not going to stay around for very long, because the mindset is what drives us to be kind of content long term. And being content long term means kind of staying at a certain level for an amount of time, then bumping up, staying there, bumping up, staying there. And it's not about always looking into the future. It's just about recognizing that we're human and we're not meant to stay still all the time. We're not meant to do the same things all the time. We have these incredible brains and incredible bodies to do lots of different things and explore and experiment. So if we want to be fulfilled and feel purposeful and feel passionate, and feel that consistency rolling in day on day on day, then we need that kind of inner work really focused on. So this is, you know, kind of, I started off talking about health, and it all ties in together, because your health, your well-being, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, all of these things matter when it comes to you getting your results, because you can either have the surface level, or you can dig and get better, more consistent, stronger, more powerful long-term results that will last you hopefully for the rest of your life. And the knowledge and skills that I try to impart to you here are about that. It's about you discovering who you are and how you tick and what makes you really get going, and what your passions really are. And if you know that your pie has become a bit unbalanced, if the kind of really small slices of health and fitness, really small slices of fun and focus work, mindset work, then I want your kind of challenge over the weekend, your homework over the weekend, is to try and find a way, strategize to even out your slices of the pie and make sure that you're kind of getting a good spread of all the activities, all the segments of the pie, as it were, okay? And if you don't know how to do that, please come to me and I will sit down with you and I will talk you through, I'll walk you through how to create a better balance in the things that you're doing. But what it takes is for you to come to me, well, firstly, for you to recognise that you've got a bit of a lack of a balance, and secondly, for you to be brave enough to come to me and say, Nicola, I need some help, I need to sit down with you and really work this out, because I'm really struggling, okay? And I struggle, okay? You will not be the only person struggling with this. On, you know, this is why I set goals every few months, because I know that after 3 months or so I start to get a bit complacent and I need to kind of step things up again, okay? So if that is the case, please come to me. If you've got any questions, please send them to me, and I will be making another video on a really good question that got given to me by one of my members the other day. And so one of the next videos next week will be about why it's way easier to gain weight than it is to lose weight. Okay, so I'll be talking about metabolism, I'll be talking about, again, consistency, habits, and generally kind of aging and how the body changes as we age. Okay, so if that was interesting to you, please leave me a comment. If you have anything you want to say, please come and talk to me. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend, and I will see you next week when I talk about metabolism and how to get better weight loss results in the next video. Thanks so much for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.